I'm really excited to, that's me in the middle of this. You can see my screen, all right? Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm actually a seasoned facilitator. This will be my 22nd facilitation of iLAB.
We have a Sassis coming.
Oh, yes, Sassis, yes.
Oh.
Okay, thank you. So this is some of our team. There's a lot of our team that support over the iLAB program, but this is some of our team. I don't know who you guys know, but we've got me obviously in the middle. Over to the left is Simone Holt. So she's General Manager of Resorts. So she not only looks after Vision Villas and the iLAB program, which is part of Vision Villas, but she also looks after our new South African resort, all our beach clubs and any other resorts as they come on. So she's got a very big role. And we don't see, she lives at Vision Villas with Shane, her partner, who's on the right, if you haven't met them. But we don't see Simone as much as we'd love to because she's so busy. So she's there, but she's usually in an office on meetings or, you know, dealing with people. But she will definitely be there for the program, throughout the program. And like I said, over to the right is Shane. He's our manager of audiovisual. So he's actually, we have Putu that comes in and support mostly during the day with our recording, because all our sessions are actually recorded. So you get to go back and watch them again. They'll be uploaded, and it's uploaded just for your particular group. And you get to go back and watch them again, particularly if like Roger's giving feedback or something and you want to review it over and over again. Obviously, you can watch it as many times as you want. So we record every session that's not personal. So, for example, if we get a mentor come in talking about something personal with you guys, we don't record it because obviously that's personal to you. Anything that's business personal, like you may discuss cash flow or something like that, that's not recorded. But on the night that you all start, you'll get a form that will explain all that to you as well. OJ that was talking to me when you came on, he's down the bottom left. So he's our fun machine. So OJ's also a mentor at iLAB. He's our host, so he's got many roles. So he's our host. He's there for the whole 2 weeks and looks after everyone that's there to make sure that they're getting everything they need throughout their 2 weeks at Vision Villas and part of the program. And also he mentors on Bahasa, which is the Indonesian language, and also the culture of Bali. So you'll get to learn more about Bali while you're there, which is really exciting. And then there's some of our other team that's in the middle, but you'll down the bottom. But you'll get to learn a lot more about them when you're there, and find out, you know, they're very supportive and the way that they'll work with you as well. So like I said, that's only some of our team. There's a lot more team that are involved other than these guys. Okay, towards the end too, you'll get a chance to ask questions, but if there's anything burning that you want to ask as I go through something, please speak up or get into the chat box and Odo will let me know. Odo, I might need you to make sure everyone's muted just because I'm getting a bit of playback at the moment.
Yeah, we have Ramesh coming.
Okay, cool. All right. So for those that I haven't said hello yet, welcome. This will be recorded, so you can, if you've missed the beginning, you haven't really missed that much of that you need to learn about at the moment, but you can go back and watch it. It'll be posted on our Facebook group, which I'll tell you about as we go through. So what we do, we very closely align with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So with each time that an iLAB program is run, we look to see how we can contribute back in some way, shape or form. And this is aligned with the purpose test, which is on Genius U. So you will not only have to be asked to do your wealth profiling test and your spectrum or your lighthouse test and a couple of others, your purpose test is one we like to see what you align with. My background is as a business coach, and interestingly enough, and it makes a lot of sense, my United Nations goal is quality education. So I know that I contribute back in many ways to education globally, and that's what we want you to be considering. How you contribute is entirely up to you. It's not to say that we're going to tell you how, and it has to be monetarily. It can be in other formats. Here are the goals that are there, and whatever you test, you'll come out with. And as part of the iLAB program, one of the key outcomes from it will be completing a promotion plan. And a promotion is just a monetized project. So it's making sure that everything you're doing is having a financial outcome while you're at iLAB. So it could be that you include whatever your purpose is, whichever one comes out. Like I said, mine's number 4, which is quality education. It could be that you include that as part of your promotion to say, I'm looking to give back a certain amount towards this, or I'm looking to go and volunteer, or whatever it is for you. So it's not like we're telling you have to, it's just giving you an insight into what you can do. And yeah, that's knowing that whenever Roger's doing something, he's aligning with these as well. And his, interestingly enough, his is quality education as well. Okay, moving right along onto some of the logistics. For those of you who haven't been to Bali or don't come from somewhere fairly tropical, you will learn very quickly that the best clothing to bring to Bali, or best clothing to wear in Bali, is very casual. Loose clothing. You will be there during the wet season, so it's very humid, and which means that it's obviously a lot hotter than normal. So if you're coming from a very cold climate, that's when you'll find it a little bit challenging adapting to that heat. So the cooler the clothing that you can bring, the better. However, in the room we keep the temperature at a fairly cool, so it's not, obviously we want you to stay awake, but also we don't want you too hot. So we keep the temperature pretty cool. For some, they find it too cold, so they need to bring a jacket. For others, they find that it's just perfect. So just do consider that you might want to bring something for over your shoulders. And if you are coming from a cooler climate, you will find that you'll probably wear it from part of your journey anyway. So casual clothes. I'll tell you about the business outfit in a moment. Obviously swimmers, we've got an amazing swimming pool there, and whatever you like to wear on your feet, which is as casual as you like to be. It really is 2 weeks of us being just, casual. It's not getting dressed up like you're attending a business course. It's you getting dressed up comfortably so that you can get the most out of the program. And insect repellent, we do supply that for you. However, you might find that you have one yourself that you prefer to use. Ours is organic. It's got quite a strong smell to it, which some people don't like, but I love it. So if you want to bring some for yourself, and obviously all other things that you need, like your sun creams and different things that you'll need for yourself. Now, part of the program is also a video, which we'll be just looking to do some short videos. You're probably considering doing something like Facebook Live or filming each other, or, we're still looking at how we'll talk about that as a group, how we actually do that. But in particular, you might be considering, well, I'd actually like to do a 3-minute video, and I'd like it to be related to launching a product or something. So in which case you may consider bringing a business outfit that suits the video that you're looking to create. So that's the reason we say bring a business outfit. Now, mostly, unless you want a full length video, like a full body length, mostly it's only the top half that you video anyway. So you only need something for that top half. But that's what that's for. It's not for your presentation that you'll need to do while you're there. It's not for any other reason other than a video, should you choose to dress up a bit more professional for your video. Okay, electronics. We use the Genius U platform, which I'm hoping everyone is very familiar with. So therefore, the majority of the program, all bar potentially the first day, it will be on computer. So it'll be on your laptop or iPad or whatever you choose. Obviously, it's better to have a laptop or an iPad. I've had a couple of people that have come along and for whatever reason their laptop or their iPad has broken, or something's happened to it on the way, and they've had to use their phone and their cell phone, mobile phone, and it makes it very challenging. So I always say to everyone, always make sure, if possible, if you've got a laptop and an iPad, bring them both so you've got a backup. It doesn't happen often, but it can happen, and it's Bali. It's a little bit more challenging. Not challenging to get things fixed, but it's more time consuming than just going down the road and getting something sorted very quickly. So just consider that when you're bringing your electronics. And mostly we use our phones as cameras. and like for videoing as well. But if you want to bring that, because you will be filming yourself and each other, you can consider that as well. I think the smartphones in this day and age pretty much do everything we want them to do, but that's entirely up to you. Here are the adapters that you will be using in Bali. What I would consider, and I've experienced this myself, so I'm going to tell you so that you are prepared. What did happen to my laptop was it had a surge, and it actually blew my my cord up, and which then impacted my, I couldn't charge my computer because I didn't have that cord. Fortunately, someone was coming over and bought me a new one. And what would have avoided it, what does avoid now, is me bringing a power board with a surge protector on it. So I do suggest that we will supply obviously there's enough power for everyone to use, but I always have a surge protector just to make sure that my computer's, I'm looking after my computer. And the reason that I say that is because we're not going to supply those in Bali. So it's up to you to make sure you do that. And it really is just a power board. And it's got the cut-off switch. So should the power not be at the level it's meant to be, it just switches it off. So consider that. If you don't already have one, you may consider getting one. The power in Bali is obviously different than where most of us come from. So you need to consider that. That is the wall socket. You need an adapter for your country. So from wherever you're from to Indonesia. So that's an Australian one to the right. And so if you can bring that with you would be fantastic, because although there might be a couple around, they're very limited in numbers. So it'd be advantageous for you to bring your own along. That's pretty much all you need to know about that side. Something I will say, in our meeting room where we do run our sessions is where we have the strongest internet connection. So I'm going to tell you before you get there, and I will tell you again when you get there. Each of the rooms has access to the internet, but the strength of the signal varies depending on where the room is, the time of day, how many people are on the internet at the same time. And we don't always get a good signal in our rooms. It can go on and off. And my room that I stay in is fairly close to where our meeting room is, and I get the strongest signal sitting outside of my room. So you need to be aware of that before you come along, and don't come along thinking that you're going to sit in your room and have a really strong internet signal. We are in Bali, and they are very thick walls. So the way it's set up, and we've got a very good Wi-Fi in comparison to a lot of Bali. But just to be like, if anyone's uploading or downloading, it's definitely going to take our bandwidth, and it's going to give challenges within the rooms. However, in the room that we run the sessions is very strong. So we've got the access to great internet in that room. So if anyone wants to do any calls, meetings with someone back home, that's the best place to go and do it. And we'll give you all the logins when you get there to make sure you can do that. So just be remembering that, you don't go there expecting that you're going to have the best internet in your room, because like I said, we are in Bali and we need to be mindful of where we are at. Okay, some of you may be, shall I say, brave enough to drive in Bali. I actually am brave enough I ride a scooter occasionally. I say that because if you haven't been to Bali before and you get off the plane and you get in amongst the traffic, you'll find that the lanes, the road is like the drivers, whoever's in front basically is the one that leads, and you follow the rules of the person in front, so to speak. So there seem to be like scooters and cars going everywhere. And I think it's always great to be able to trust the drivers that are there to take me where I want to go, rather than me venturing out on my own. However, it is a lot of fun, and particularly where we are over on the East Coast, where there is a lot less traffic. It's nice to hire a scooter or even a car and just go out venturing maybe on the weekend. So in order to do that, you will need an international driver's license, and you will need to access that from where you're from. So I know in Australia it's our Royal Automobile Club. We just go there, pay a fee, and they basically give us a license if you've got a driver's license. So you need to get one to come over. If you ride or drive without a license and you get picked up, I don't even want to tell you what could happen. So please do make sure if you are considering that. It's not very much. I know in Australian dollars, about $30. So if you are considering that, please get it anyway. I think it would last you for maybe 12 months if you're looking to drive somewhere else. But that's a bit of fun if you want to go out and do that. And, you know, for some, on occasion we have people that come over that surf. The beach is only 5 minutes drive down the road, and they go surfing in the morning or whenever they can. So that's another reason why you might choose to. Okay, moving right along. The travel details are really, really important to be aware of at this stage. You must check your passports. You must have 6 months validity on your passport, meaning that from when you leave, you must have 6 months time left on your passport. There are people that go to board the plane to come to Bali. Some have even got as far as Bali and find that they won't let them in because they've only got 2 months left on their passport before they need to get it renewed. Please check it, and if you are finding that you will have less than 6 months, you need to go and get it renewed now, because they will not let you in. Now, in regards to the visas, they have stopped all visa on arrival. I mean, there used to be that everyone, majority of people, majority of countries paid a visa on arrival when you came into Bali. Now you don't need to. It's basically included in your tickets, your airline tickets. However, on the off chance that some of you may choose to stay longer than 30 days, which does happen. So the program's 2 weeks, but some people come a week earlier and stay a week later. If you're going to go over a 30-day period, you do need to pay for a visa before you come along. Otherwise, you cannot get an extension should you go over that 30 days. So your free entry is only up to 30 days. If you're staying 31 days, you must have a visa before you come. So basically the decision is, look, I might stay a few extra days. I'm going to be here 30 anyway. I haven't got a visa. The answer is no, you can't stay a few extra days, because that'll be challenging for you. And it's not to say we couldn't potentially organise it for you at Vision Villas, but it's going to create a few hassles. So if you are considering staying longer, which some do, please make sure you organise a visa on arrival. It's about US $35. You can get that from generally the airport or your consulate, or wherever you would know your travel agents could organise that as well. And that gives you up to 60 days and covers you for that. After 60 days, you have to leave anyway. So please also check with your individual countries to see if there's any visa requirements from travelling from where you're at into Bali as well, because I can't give you advice on that. As I was saying, if someone, and this does happen, if someone had a visa, they stayed the 60 days and they wanted, or 30 days and they wanted to extend longer or whatever, then they could potentially organise it, like I said. But better that you do that before you come along. Now, on those details, hopefully you've all booked your flights or you are about to. Once you've got that information, all these, if you haven't received this already, you'll be receiving an email with all the links and all the forms that need to be completed before you come along. And one of them is this particular one. So you'll get a link, you'll click on that, and it'll be your travel details, and you'll fill that in. So it'll give us all the flight numbers and everything, so that we know what time to come and pick you up from the airport, because obviously transfers are included in your program. So please make sure you fill in all the information as soon as you get it, or as close to as soon as you get it as possible. And in particular this one, because as you can imagine, with a group of people, we have to coordinate drivers picking people up at certain times. And sometimes if there's flights half an hour apart, we will wait for the next person to come in and then bring them bring a couple together, which is really nice because you get to meet people before you actually get to Vision Villas. So send them in and we can coordinate the drivers to come out. And this is pretty much, next one. I'll show you in a moment what it will look like when someone picks you up. But with travel insurance, I will say to everyone, some of you may be aware that Mount Agung in Bali, the biggest volcano in Bali, has been awake lately. It's been happening since the end of August, beginning of September. Nothing major has happened with it. However, like any island that has volcanoes, even if it's not active at that particular time, it can become active. That's just what happens anywhere where there's volcanoes. While there's low risk with a volcano, and like there's not a high, they have levels, numbers, while it's sitting below the top level, your travel insurer you'll generally be able to get insurance. I would recommend that everyone consider getting insurance, of checking with their insurer, just to cover should something happen and your flight get delayed, that you can claim back on insurance. I was there in November, and I think it was a couple of extra days I ended up staying there. I was fully insured, and it's not even for that. It's like covers you for medical. Now, how you get your insurance, where you get it from, for whatever reason you get it, whether you do get it or not, is entirely up to you. But I do recommend everyone consider it if possible. Now, going back to what I'd say, getting picked up from the airport. If there's O-Day, that's a similar type sign that you will see as you land in Bali, as you walk out the doors. In particular, you will walk out through glass sliding doors that were automatic doors that will open. You'll look straight ahead and it'll appear like there's 1,000 drivers with signs, which is rather daunting because you've got to try and think, well, where's mine? Our drivers don't stand there. They actually, if you keep following people around, so you walk out the doors, turn to the left and just keep following around, our drivers will be at the end as you walk out, with a sign like that. So it's a lot easier for you to find them rather than having to walk up to all the drivers and everyone asking you if you want a taxi. And so all you need to look for is XL Vision Millers and your name on a sign, and the driver's definitely looking for you. Now, for whatever reason, should you not find them, if you keep walking around, you'll see an information desk. You just tell them you're from Vision Villas and your name, and they'll put it over the loudspeaker and the driver will come and find you. But the drivers are very good. They generally have photos of what you look like, so they know who they're looking for, as opposed to you trying to find out which one they are. So, we'll definitely have someone there to greet you. So your experience starts from the very moment that you get off your plane in Bali. Now, part of what we do, and this is very, very important, I'm going to be emphasising this many, many times, and I cannot say it strongly enough. Facebook is what we use as our main communication for the program. It will be leading up to the program, it'll be during the program, and it will be after the program has completed. You have your own private group, so the only people that are on it are all the participants in the program, any of the mentors that come and mentor, so that they can add their information on and you can communicate with them as well. And like O-Day, myself, we're the only ones on there. It's not open to the public. Anyone that asks to join it that is not seen to be part of that group in any way, shape or form is refused. So you can be confident that you can run anything or put anything on that you want to share with the group, and it will only be seen by that group and the mentors, like I said. When you do videos and stuff like that, they'll be uploaded on there as well, so you'll get a chance to view them and download them off there, or it'll give you a link of where they're actually saved. So if you're not already friends with O-Day, please send oday.indra or Oday Indra a friend request and he will add you into the group.
I send a link in chat.
Oh, you've done it already?
I send a link in Facebook chat.
Oh, in the Facebook chat. All right, thanks.
Oh, no Facebook,
O-Day.
on the Zoom chat.
I mean Zoom chat, sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome, Gabriel.
Awesome. Yeah, and you'll follow up with people anyway, O-Day, won't you?
Yeah.
If they haven't added in. So as soon as you're on there, please start looking at it. Any questions that you have, please ask them on there as well, so that we can make sure that that's where I see all the time, that's where O-Day sees. We get the notifications as soon as anyone types on there, so we can support you in every way possible with any questions that you have prior to coming along. Now, we'll say before I go on to the next the next slide is that my aim is to have a one-to-one call with each of you just to make sure I answer any individual questions and also to make sure you're ready to come along. So you've done your pre-work. It's only about a 15-minute call, but it's enough time for us to go over any other personal questions that you may think of after this that you don't get a chance to ask, or for those that are not actually on this at the moment that can come on and when I send you a link to have a call, we can talk about some other things there. So use the Facebook group, the call that you'll have with me, you can also use, and anything you want to share. If there's something exciting that's happening for you, go on and share on that Facebook group as well. Okay. So I said there's tests, purpose tests, which is to do with the United Nations goals, is one of them. So, and you've got your travel details form you need to fill in. So now we've got your Wealth Dynamics profile test. Some of you may have already done this previously. If it's been, I'd say, over a year since you've completed your test, I would do it again, because it can be a little bit biased, depends on where you're at when you complete the test, what you're doing. So please go in and do it again. If you have only recently done it, you can just put the details in your participants form, which I'll show you in a moment. Which means then you've got a token that you can either keep for a later date or you can share, and someone else, maybe part of your team or your partner or whoever, can use that token to do their test. So please make sure you do that. So that's your profile. The other test that we need you to do is your Millionaire Master Plan test. This will give you your spectrum level, to give you your level on the lighthouse. So there's 9 different levels, which the program is run through your strengths, and that's your profiles, and then the level that you come in at and the level we are supporting you to go to. So that is your Millionaire Master Plan test. Each person will get a copy of this book when you arrive on the welcome night, and there will be another token in there that you can use for someone else. But what OJ will do is once again send out an email which will have a token in for you to do this test. So please make sure that you follow the instructions, get these tests done as soon as possible, because this is the information that you need to put in your participants' information that you'll be sending along. The sooner that I get all this information, the sooner I can prepare, make sure that we've got the right mentors, that the program is set for your group. I like to customise based on the group and the levels people are at, is to customise to make sure that it's not just a generic program, that it's more customised to your particular group. However, I can't do that last minute, so I can only do it if I get the information sooner rather than later. And as many of us celebrate, we've got Christmas coming up in a week, so that will take a bit of time out for me in particular. Okay, so this is what you'll do. You'll get your token, you'll copy and paste it into this white box, which the link will take you to, and then you'll start your test and you'll get your results coming out from that. Please do save with your profile and your Millionaire Master Plan test. Please save your reports so that if we need to access them, sometimes there's a bit of confusion as to where you're at. If we need to access those reports, then you can share them with me and I can support you to make sure that whether your profile is questionable or your level is questionable, then we can have a talk about it. But I'd prefer to see the report and talk to you rather than just talk to you. So please save your reports. I will bring them with you if possible. Okay, so as I was saying, those are the tests that you need to do. You need that information in order to be able to fill in this next form, which you'll get a link for, and this is your participants' information. This is where you will put as much information as possible, and every mentor that is coming along will get to see this. So they will see your profile, they will see the level you're at, they will see what your business is, what you're looking to get out of iLAB, and any other information that you add in there. So please put as much information as possible, because although one mentor may know you because they've met you somewhere, it doesn't mean all the rest do. So even though I speak to the mentors before they come on, I also send them the link so that they can check out all the information well before they come and present to you. So the more information that you put on, the more information they've got, and they then prepare their presentations the same way that I prepare the program. So this is what it will look like. You'll click on the link, you'll fill in this information, you'll see that you've got your profile to fill in, you've got your spectrum level, which is your Millionaire Master Plan results, business overview, what is your business, what are you offering, and so on and so forth. If it's a new business, your annual turnover will obviously be 0, and your profit will be 0, but that's what you'll be saying. It's a business overview is a new business. It can be a new business idea or whatever you're coming with, and the other information that it will ask you to complete. What are your 3 highest priorities you're looking to get at iLAB? What I want you to keep in your mind is that you are there to take some part of your business or your new business, if that's it, and monetize it. So it's not about going and creating a system that you're not going to create money from. It is actually taking something that there will be a financial outcome. It's to take you from the level that you test, so what your spectrum level is, to another level. So for example, if you're in a foundation level, our idea is to be able to support you to monetize to at least move up to orange if you're red or infrared, or potentially into yellow level, so you're into the enterprise out of foundation. That's the idea. It is every single promotion will be monetized. So where you might come along to see how you can create a new product or service, you will get support for that, but we'll also be helping you move a level. And for some of you will say, well, that's not what I was coming here for. However, you'll get exactly what you need. So what your outcomes will be, or you will definitely achieve what you want to achieve, but it might not be the way you think you will. So just be mindful that everything that your outcome will be based on is to make sure that you're making money, no matter what it is. So, and we'll obviously discuss that more when you get there. What also you'll find is what you write down at the beginning and what you review at the end of the program, you'll go, wow, did I really think that? And it can be totally different. So expect the unexpected and you'll be very pleasantly surprised, I will tell you. Just while I'm flicking to the next one, I was a participant myself. So it was 2014, January 2014, I attended. And, you know, I've sat in the seat that you have. I've been through the process of that I'm going to take you through. Plus it's improved massively since then as well. And it's very exciting what you're going to get out at the end of it. So really, I'm looking forward to that with you all. Okay, this is something that in particular when I do have a call with you, I will be emphasising, and I get a lot of excuses around this, and I don't know why it appears so challenging. It doesn't matter what your profile is. Everyone should know financially where they're at. If they don't know where they're at, then this is an opportunity for you to at least put as much information down on this as possible. So there are 2 cash flows you need to complete. One is your last 6 months. Now, even if you're starting a new business, you have received an income in some way, shape or form over the last 6 months. So it doesn't matter where it's come from. You can fill in at the top where it's come from for the last 6 months. So you'll see month by month. And then what are your expenses that have come out of that? It may be for some of you, you're going to have to go back through bank statements, bank accounts, and do a bit of an average to work out what it was. And this is exactly what you need to be doing moving forward. So now is the time to set it up so that once you leave, this will become second nature to you. Now, I'm talking your income is what you take in to pay your personal expenses. This is not your business expenses. So, for example, if you take, just say you take $1,000 per month out of your business for personal, then you'd put that in under whichever heading you want to put it in under, and then your expenses are down the bottom broken down. Then we'll see, are you spending more than you're earning, or how does that work? So that's the last 6 months. You should be able to do that because everyone's got a history on their finances in some way, shape or form. I'll look back on the chat shortly. I can see that flashing, but I'll look back on that shortly. The next one you need to do, which always seems to be the challenge. So I want this one complete. I want your group to be the group that actually does this correctly. This is about projection. This is about right now, I don't know how I'm going to earn the income moving forward. Or you may do. Your business is already in a good position. But right now, I don't know how to increase it. If you were to be realistic with it and say you're to increase your income by 10% per month, what would that look like? Does that mean if you increase your income that your expenses would increase, or would they stay the same? You know, what else would there be additional expenses? So this is just a guess. And it can be that $1,000 becomes $1,100 for month one, and then it's $1,210 for month two. It's whatever it is that's realistic to you. Now, remember I said one of the outcomes from iLAB is a monetized promotion plan. So it's actually monetizing a project. So therefore, part of what we're doing with this will be to show you how you actually do increase this. So you may say, conservatively, it's only 10%. And then when we do your promotion plan, you find that you can increase it a lot more than that. But be realistic for now. Please fill it in. Don't go, I don't know what it's going to be. Just increase it by a certain percentage, and then we'll support you to get the rest. It's so I have an understanding about your level of financial literacy. In particular, in the second week, we have someone that's coming in that will be supporting you with numbers. And from a business perspective, many of you may choose to have a bookkeeper, and I would hope many of you would in the future if you don't already. But we're talking personal. This is not business at this stage. This is where your income comes from for your lifestyle. So I know I'm putting a bit of time into this, but this is very, very important we get this right. And this is something else that, you may need a few days, or some of you a week. I don't want to see people handing these in when you get there. It makes it very challenging for us to support you if we're asking time and time again where your cash flows are. It'll all make sense, believe me. This is all part of the process. And all I can say is trust in the system that this works. Okay. So on the night that you all arrive, you will see this. You see how everyone's dressed pretty casual. Actually, this is probably not that casual for some of them. They changed a lot after the first night. However, what will happen on the first night is you will do a 2-minute presentation. You do not have to prepare anything. It's just you standing up. I will put a slide up on the projector, and it will give you a guideline of what you need to say. It's very casual. It's just basically you introducing yourself to the group. It gives everyone an idea of who you are, what you do. People start thinking about collaboration. Oh, you do that. That's great. Maybe we should talk because I do something similar, or we can align or collaborate in some form. So very, very casual, and it's an opportunity to get to know each other before we actually start the official sessions on the next day. So don't be worried about that. You don't need to present anything at all. It's just, like I said, a 2-minute casual talk. 2 minutes for some people tends to be 10 minutes. I'm not quite sure, but some people like to talk a little bit more than others. However, we'll make sure we control that. So that's on the Sunday night when you get there. We'll be doing that. By this time, you should have met everyone anyway. Okay, so we have what we call our code of conduct, or our rules of the game. It's like, for me, it's more that you make a commitment to these rather than, me being the teacher that's holding you accountable to all these things. I want to make sure you get the best out of the program, which means that by following these rules of the game, or the code of conduct, means that you have the opportunity to get the absolute most, and in particular to be able to contribute back, because the more that you contribute to the group, the more that you'll get out of it. So number one is it's coming along knowing that you're going to design what it is that you should be doing. So based on your profile strength, based on your spectrum level, it's being realistic. We're not going to go and change the world if you're sitting in foundation. We'll be supporting you to move forward, how you can move forward in the best way. But it's designing something that is going to align with you, that you can maintain. Instead of just saying, well, hey, I'll tell you a bit more about myself when I get there. But my background originally was as a bookkeeper, which does not align with my star profile. As those that already know about profiles would know, that's the opposite of what I should be doing. But that was the default option. That was what was available to me at the time, and I did it exceptionally well, but I didn't love it. So therefore, when I finally worked out what I needed to, or what I should be doing, I actually got into my flow and started designing what I was doing moving forward. So you'll be doing the same if part of what you're doing is not in alignment with your profile. Number 2 is probably the most important for you moving forward, and most important for the whole group, and in particular for collaboration. Listening actively. It's like we're in 2 weeks in sessions. You do get implementation time, but you will find that for some of you, it's a lot of concentration time. It's not a classroom where you're like students that are sitting down and you don't get up until your break. It's your group, it's your program. You can stand up, do what you want when it suits you. But what I do pretty much say to every single person, and I will call you on it, if you start asking questions about things that we've been over many times, I'll be saying, how present are you? And some profiles find it easier to stay present than others. So I always say, and this was true for me, to listen like you need to teach it, because in actual fact I do now. So for me, I needed to listen like I need to teach it. But the information that you're learning, you can teach others. You can teach your team members. You can go out and teach other people that you're working with as well, or partners. And the more you know about it, the easier it makes your business and your life. Number 3, play full out. There may be some things that you go, yeah, I've already done that, know that, not really concerned about that anymore. I'm not going to concentrate, I'll just do this email, which is once again coming back to being present or not present. Don't get into that habit of I know everything, because nobody knows everything. And in particular, what I'm sharing with you and the mentors are sharing with you, you haven't heard from us. You might have heard that something similar, but you haven't heard it from me, because majority of you would never have met me before, and you don't know how I present, how I'm going to support you. You don't know how the mentors present. So the information that's shared may be what you've heard before, but it's not going to be shared in the way you've heard it before. So it's always really good to make sure that you're being attentive and playing full out with everything that's there, and not blocking off and doing the I know. We'll go through this too on the first day. Also, you will come in with different habits. There will be different things, like, for example, I'm not really a morning person. I don't like getting up in the morning and exercising. It's being open to opportunities, because with everything that you say, I'm not really, there's an opportunity to learn from that. So we're going to support you to make sure that you can change some of those habits that are going to help you moving forward. So, and it's checking in to say, oops, I'm slipping back into that habit, I should get out of it. And you'll each learn how to support each other with that as will I learn to help you with that. So that's our code of conduct. We'll go through that when you get there. And occasionally I will call you on some of it, just to make sure everyone's being supportive. Very rarely do I need to, but just in case. Okay, what not to expect. I am a business coach. However, I'm not there to coach you 24/7. I'm there as part of the program in the times that you are there, during those hours, to coach and support you as much as possible. I have done a lot of other coaching with Roger and many others around the world. So I know I can definitely support you, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is for you guys to be able to support each other as much as possible, and not expecting that everyone's going to be there to answer your questions all the time. The more that you can take out of the program by supporting each other, the more that you'll be able to move forward when you, in particular, go back into your own worlds. So be mindful of that. If you come to me and say, can I catch up with you after this session, and I say, actually no, then don't be offended by that. Just be respectful that I have my own personal time as well. Okay, moving right along. What you will get out of the program, without any doubt, is self-motivation. It's pretty easy to see that nearly everyone that comes along gets very motivated from day one, where it's like you get into this environment. It's a beautiful Vision Villas. If you haven't been there, it's amazing. It's the reason that we run the program there. It's got all the elements, all the energies, and it's easy to get motivated. However, we have stuff happening in our life, and we're human beings, and we have things that are causing us thoughts and whatever. So, that's something that we're there to help support you with no matter what's going on. And in particular, some that are in foundation will have them more than others, because those that are at a higher level will find they've already been down that road, so they know that little voice in their head that's telling them, oh, I'm not happy with this, or why is it like that, is a voice that is not serving them, so they learn to shut that voice up. So for some of you, you will be looking to do that. And it's a good environment for you to be able to learn how to do that. Managing your time, obviously, I in particular, as a facilitator, I call myself a bit of a time Nazi. Now, I'm a star profile. Timing is not something that's naturally to me, but when it comes to my facilitation, I 100% respect your time. I respect the time of the mentors, and I expect you guys to do the same for everyone else. I also expect the mentors to be respectful of your time, and no one ever goes overtime unless they ask permission and you agree to it. And that goes for everything that we are doing there. So managing your time is for some people easy, because timing is their strength. For others, it's the most challenging. And I'd say probably 80% that come into iLAB are sitting at that top part of the square. So they're more like the Lord, with more of the dynamo energy, the Lord's mechanics, creators, stars, supporters. So which are the ones that generally aren't as good at managing their time. So that's something that you will learn. You will get action and implementation time. Do expect that out of hours at night, you may need to put an hour or two into completing something. Depends how much you get done during the day, how much time we can give you to work on things. But it is basically a fast track program. So we're putting as much as we can into 2 weeks without overwhelming you. You need to be considering that it may even be on the weekend. You might have to do a few hours here and there to get some things complete. However, what's really important, and one of the biggest things I hear all the time that comes out of iLAB, is the collaborations and the co-working that you will get. You'll create relationships that it will stay there for life. And I will say that without any doubt. These people that have been there 5 years ago when iLAB first started that are still friends, still keep in contact. Some are in business together now. So the co-working opportunities will create those opportunities from when you leave, because you will stay connected. You will stay connected with me. All of you will get the opportunity to stay connected as a graduate. And I run monthly calls with the whole iLAB graduate group. But you will also keep that connection with your individual group as well. And it is just amazing. And it's like always on the last night, I hear, I've now made friends for life. Thank you so much. And it's always that gratitude for the connections that you make while you're there. And last but not least, definitely expert mentors. I make sure that I'm sourcing the best mentors to be able to support the program and support you. And there are some mentors that we can't get live because, like, for example, if Roger does not happen to be in Bali and he's in South Africa or wherever he is, he will zoom in. So you'll get to see him on the video, but like as a live format generally, but he may not be in person in Bali. So please expect that some mentors may not be in person. The reason that I accept that is because those mentors are some of the best. Obviously Roger is, or you wouldn't be part of iLAB, but those mentors are some of the best. And I would much rather have them zooming in so that you can see them on a screen than not have them at all, and then picking someone that's half as good as that person. So do expect that not every mentor is in person, but where possible, you will definitely have them in person. I've already spoken about this. This is on Genius U. If you haven't done your Genius test and got on Genius U, this is critical. I need these things to happen before you come along, because the Genius U platform is what we're using for the whole program. And that's obviously the link, and you'll get to do the purpose test as well, which I said, okay, I will send you all these, there's your Genius test. So that just gives you one of your 4 geniuses. And once you've done your Genius test, your other profile and your spectrum will align with your Genius U profile, and everything will appear in one place. Excuse me. Okay, so this is how it will show up. So that's doing your Millionaire Master Plan, your Genius tests. Like I said, some of these we can go through when I speak to you one-on-one if you don't already have that. Now, there is some other work that you need to do. It's not just filling in tests and getting results and doing the filling in the forms. This is a lot of work, and I don't expect it to get finished. But what I do want you to actually do is to get started and do as much as you possibly can with these. So I'm not going to put a lot of time onto these during the program. So I want to move very quickly from foundation into enterprise to make sure that we're getting the most out of the program. So as much as can be done before you come along, the better with this. So the Genius You Foundation missions, which if you go on, as soon as you log in, you should be able to find these. If not, then you put it on the Facebook group and we can guide you through it, or I can guide you through when I speak to you one-to-one. Just make sure that you're starting on as measure your money, commit to conduct, and do your duty. They're the three of the infrared to red that I would love to put minimal time into because you've already got an understanding around it. If half the group have not done this, it means then we've got to take time out of other parts of the program to make sure we do it, because it's not going to make as much sense if you haven't completed or at least made a good start on these. So this is where you're going to have to allocate a little bit of time. It's probably over all up, I'd say if you did it properly, I'd say 20 to 30 hours of work. I don't expect you to put that amount of time in before you come, but I do expect you to get started. Some of you may have already been working on them. So if you have, then that's a real positive. So please do make sure you've started, or hopefully for some of you even completed your foundation missions. Okay, something else that you can consider doing. We will be doing this in there. Normally I would say everyone write a future vision before they come along. So where you look to be in the next 12 months. So you can actually start thinking about this, but majority of time I would say people don't all do it. So we will be doing it as part of the program. And this is basically just having a think about where do you want to be in the next 12 months? Knowing that we're going to teach you how you get there, but where do you want to be? What does it look like? You know, what is your cash flow? What's your, where you're living? Are you living in the same place? Are you doing more travel? But just keeping that focus on where you want to be in 12 months' time, because what you'll be doing in particular on this towards the end of the program is be setting up your 12-month plan. So quarter by quarter, and putting in the things you need to do. So the more that you've got clarity around before you come, even if you don't know, like I said, don't worry about the how. Don't worry about how you're going to get there. If you could just say, realistically, in 12 months' time, I'd like to know I have this much cash flow. I'd like to know that I've got my business doing this with this many team working with me, and you know it's realistic. Just start thinking about that. Now, you will be handwriting this. This is not something that you will write up now and you'll have it on your computer and you'll present it, because every single person will be writing it in free form by hand. And that will definitely be something that we'll be sharing with the group when you get there. So just start thinking about your future vision. I can talk to you more about this as well when we have our call. Okay, back to O'Day. O'Day, our fun machine, our fun patrol. He not only is he a mentor and he supports you through the Balinese, the Bahasa language, and also the Balinese culture, he also supports you through keeping active and having fun. So part of what you do in the mornings, our days actually start from 6 a.m. in the morning, where we provide an activity that you can participate in. You don't have to, but I want everyone to be participating in something or doing some form of movement from 6 o'clock in the morning. And that can be yoga. We have different things that we offer, like only one per day, but you could choose to swim in the pool if you don't want to do yoga, or whatever we're offering, you might choose to do something different. So there will be walks to the village, walk along the beach, a few different activities that we'll provide. On occasion, we get someone come along that does something that's a bit different, and they say, do you mind if I run a session with the group? That's fine. You just talk to us, talk to O'Day, and I'm sure we can slot that in somewhere so that you can share something that you do, which would be really cool. Something else that we do, one of the things we do, these other options, is take the group to Nusa Lembongan, which is the island just off the east coast, off Sanua. And, go over there in a boat, snorkel with the manta rays if they're there at that time, which a lot of the time they are, have a bit of fun, have some lunch, and then come back. It's a really awesome day. It's a good collaboration. You'll see the top left and right bottom are photos of the groups being to Lembongan or over there. And there's other things that we can do in cycling, and, it depends really what you want to do as a group. We'll give you a couple of options, and then we'll go with the majority, and hopefully we can get most people to come along and do those activities. Now, any of the activities that we're offering, be it, the 6 o'clock exercise or the weekend, is definitely open to your family as well. So be okay that your family can come along and participate. Obviously, if it's something that's more adult driven, we don't, want children there. If you've got children, like if you've got young children doing yoga, that might not be the best option, but there definitely is different activities they can be involved in as well. So this is, although families are not, if they're not part of the program, and not to be in the meeting room when we're running sessions, we do want to include the family as much as possible so they can come along and at our breaks and lunches, obviously, and dinners and stuff, and be part of that. So we'll always let you know when the family can and can't be involved, so which is cool. Okay, we are at the end. Now I'm just going to, which has given us a little bit of time, I'm going to turn this off and turn my, for just a second. I've got a few minutes. I'm just going to quickly look at the chat and see if they've missed anything. Oh, okay. I'd assume that you've answering these, or you can support with some of these. Okay, so stop sharing my screen and I will start my video. Now, hey Ojay.
Hi.
If anyone has a question, can you please put it in the chat box, and Ojay will unmute you. Just say you've got a question. You don't need to say what it is. Ojay will unmute you, and then we can support you as much as possible. If you haven't, then don't ever ask me a question again. I'm just joking. You can ask, because every question is worth asking, believe me, because it's one thing that I learned, and you've probably heard this many times, there's no such thing as a stupid question apart from the one you don't ask. Because if you're thinking about something, you go, oh, they've probably already said that, or even if I have already covered it and you're not quite sure, it's fine, just ask, and even, like I said, be present. Like one of the code of conduct is be present, like you need to teach it. It doesn't mean that when I've said something to you and you ask me a question about something I've already been over, then I'm going to say, we've already covered that, so don't ask me. Like you'll find them very easy to get along with. We're going to have a lot of fun together. And, in particular, my last group, there was one lady who asked so many questions and she kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I said, look, I'd much rather you ask all these questions, because other people I know are thinking them, but they're not actually asking them. So please ask away if you have anything. Okay. Oh, Gabriel, at this stage, actually, Ojay, do you want to just unmute Gabriel?
Yes.
So can I say hello? Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. At this stage, there's 7 confirmed, but that could change, not meaning less, meaning there could be more. Even at short notice, we sometimes get people coming at the last minute. So we've got a really good numbered group. With my experience, having that many or that number in the group is a really good group.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Looking forward to meeting you in person.
Me too.
Okay. Thanks, Gabrielle. All right. Has anyone else got a question? If not, I will get Ojay to unmute you all. And I'm going to get to meet you all on the night anyway. And before that, because like I said, I will be sending out my calendar so that you can select a time that suits, that we can have a call one-on-one rather than me going through the group as a whole. And yeah, so write down the questions you've got between now and then. But in particular, I want to thank Ode for being our awesome host that is hosting this behind the scenes back in Bali, because I'm in Western Australia. I'm in south of Perth, Western Australia, so a country apart, aren't we, Ode? So on that note, everyone unmuted, and we're just going to say hello, goodbye, and
Hi, everyone.
please do make sure you do everything that I've asked. Go back. Ode will post this tomorrow morning.
I post in Facebook group, so you should be admin in Facebook. So I will add you into iLAB Secret Facebook group.
Yeah. So as soon as, if everyone can do that as a priority and get onto the Facebook group, so that we can make sure that you know, we can get the communication, because that's where it's mainly coming from. Okay, Kathy, my son arriving 1 week later, can he be picked up too? Yes, we'll organise that, Kathy. That's not a problem.
Thanks, Gabriel.
So just,
you add me.
Yeah. Gabriel did. Kathy, you can just remind us that when we get there, we can organise that definitely for you.
Thank you.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks a lot. This will be posted so you can go back and listen to it again. I look forward to speaking to you in person over the next couple of weeks. Please get started on everything that I have talked about. And I'm really excited for the outcomes of this program. I've got a good feeling about how this is going to go. So Merry Christmas to those who celebrate.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays, whatever you say. Have a great couple of weeks. I'll talk to you all soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Merry Christmas.
You too.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Mama Terry. Bye. Merry Christmas, Mom.
Merry Christmas, my boy.
Thank you.